Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. On this episode, we go over the new Ozzy Osbourne album, Ordinary Man, and give you our thoughts on it. Let us know what you think of the album, and let us know what you think of this episode. Alrighty, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. Once again, I'm here with my good friend Vincent LaRussa. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well on a Sunday morning.
Yes,
A little
indeed.
tired,
Little
but
tight.
yeah,
You had a show
yeah.
last night, right?
Two shows in a row.
Two
But
shows. Okay. Well,
it's
it could
tough
have been
being a,
worse.
it's tough being a, it's tough portraying a rock star, not actually being. But
With that in mind, think about how tired you are and think about our topic at hand today, right? So, what are we going to
mm,
do? We're going to talk about the new Ozzy album, the Ordinary Man album. It just came out this weekend. And think about how tired you are. And you're on the verge of a big birthday, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right?
do we really want to go into that? But yes,
Okay,
you're
so
correct. Yeah,
okay, and think
yeah.
about the fact that Ozzy is, I think, 71 years old, still putting out albums. So I'll put this up front, regardless of what we think about the album or don't think about the album. The fact that
Mm,
this guy is 71, health issues that he's had for the last couple of years, kudos for actually even finding the strength to put out an album, right?
yeah. But I want to just stop you right there.
Go
But is
ahead.
Ozzy actually putting on the album, or is Sharon putting out the album?
That's a great question, right? So
My my
supposedly,
my feeling is, go ahead, go
no,
ahead.
I was gonna say supposedly Ozzy said that he did this as a way to kind of just quote unquote get out of bed and get off the couch, and he just
Mm,
went down to a studio with a couple of friends and just started jamming and just putting together songs,
yeah.
not for an album, but just to kind of get out of bed. Which is why I don't even know if you realize this. Zakk Wylde's not even on the album.
Yes,
You
yeah, I
know?
did look at and I was going to comment on that. I,
Yeah.
I did look at the line. I always, when listening to whether it's an old record, new record, a record
Hmm.
that's about to be released, I like to read the liner notes and
Yeah.
see who played on what track. So, but
Exactly.
I'll comment on some of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, keeping in mind as a 71-year-old guy putting this out, and kudos to him for doing that. But whether Sharon or him pushing it, he did it, right? So good for him.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
the album just came out. We've both given it, I guess, a couple of listens. I guess, what was your overall impression first time you heard through this?
Well, let me just say I was kind of excited to hear it because just from the personnel, Chad Smith is one of my favorite drummers.
Yep.
I'm a huge Red Hot Chili Pepper fan. So I wanted to kind of hear his approach on these songs coming from that kind of school of, Red Hot Chili Peppers is kind of like a very funk oriented band.
Hmm.
And also having Duff McKagan, another guy who's played obviously with Guns N' Roses, and he played with, what's the band he played with? Scott Whelan. What were they called again?
Velvet Revolver.
Velvet Revolver,
Yep.
yes, and with Slash played in that band.
Yep.
So I mean, these are tremendously talented guys, and I'm a big fan of his playing,
Me too.
his writing, and
Yep.
whatnot. So I was very excited to kind of hear, okay, what's an Ozzy record going to be like without Zach?
Hmm.
And but I guess my overall impression, if that's what you're asking me, I
Yeah.
felt like the album started off strong and just progressively got worse. Not saying it's a bad album,
Hmm.
but I was initially like kind of fairly impressed on the first couple of songs. I'm just looking at the first couple of songs here. I was like, this is pretty cool.
Right, right.
But I just felt like it kind of lost it after a while. I just felt like I was hearing kind of the same thing. And once they got to the Roast Malone stuff, and I do say, I mean, I'm not a
Uh-huh.
fan,
Uh-huh.
and I'm sorry for those people who are Post Malone fans.
Hmm.
I mean, that one song, the last song on it, is really just a Post Malone song.
Yeah.
Malone song.
Take what you
Is that
want.
what it really is? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's singing the song. I'm like, why is this even on this record?
Yeah.
But I get it. I've had a problem with this in the past. I don't remember one award show. I think it was Kanye West and Paul McCartney comes out, and I was just
Hmm.
like, I'm like, I understand probably these artists are doing it. They want to stay relevant. They want to stay cool in the public eye. They have to feel like they have to align with people like this.
Hmm.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. I think an Ozzy Osbourne fan is not going to buy a record because Post Malone's on it, or
Hmm.
even Elton John for that matter.
Hmm.
They're going to buy the record because it's Ozzy.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
really don't feel like these artists really need to do it. I understand why they do it.
Hmm.
That being said, even the Elton song, I thought it was okay. I wasn't
Hmm.
really impressed with it. Again, admittingly, like anybody else who listens to a record, you may listen to something for the first time, and then after a few listens, you're like, wow, I got a totally different impression. But as a first time out, I thought the album started off pretty strong. I think the strongest track that All My Life was a like a commercially viable, cool tune. I think it might have been the standout favorite song on the record, just because I'm looking for, again, those choruses. I come from that old school, catchy chorus kind of thing. It's not a pop record, but you don't have to go back far to listen to whether it's Blizzard of Oz or Diary of a Madman. Or, I love the stuff. And I was going to say, where's Jakey Lee? I love Jakey Lee. Sin, I know that record gets a lot of, slack because of the production. But I loved a lot of the tunes on that record. Instead of Thank God for the Bomb, is that one of your favorites?
Oh, yeah, God, I hate that song.
yeah. Except for that. Remember
Nuka,
back in the
Nuka.
day? Yeah. Puka.
Exactly.
But, I know I'm derailing a bit, but yeah. So that's kind of my. What do you, based on what I've said? How do you feel?
You know what? I agree with you 100%. No Ozzy fan is going to buy this album because he did 2 songs with Post Malone. Yeah. But I ask you the question the other way around. Do you think any Post Malone fans might listen to it and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to check out the Ozzy album because those 2 songs that Post Malone did with Ozzy. If I'm a Post Malone fan, maybe I didn't like them at all either, and I wanted to." I love actually when some of these older artists try to kind of do something with a more relevant newer artist. I remember Kiss, when they did the Monster album, there were rumors that they were going to do a song with Lady Gaga, and I was like, yeah, that would be great. I love it, and then they decided not to do it. So whatever. To me, that's a missed opportunity. So I love when bands do things like this. And you brought up the Paul McCartney thing with Kanye West, and I hate Kanye West, but I actually like that song that the 2 of them did together. So, I'm open-minded to that, but these 2 songs, like the first one, It's a Raid. It's a disaster. Is more like it. It was freaking all over the place.
Oh yeah, and what I really didn't like, and I'm not trying to be an old fogey or whatever, but like the fucking language. I'm like, what is this? Like, it just seemed like so like trying too hard to be something. Like, let's just make this song with its profanity and all this stuff. And it was a total turn off. I just was like, I was ready to just, throw my computer across the room when that track was on.
So for
I'm
me,
sorry for those people who might be the highlight, but
I agree with you. So I take those 2 songs and I completely remove them. Right, because they might even be bonus tracks. I'm not 100% positive. But
I don't know, because I admittingly, I usually buy everything on vinyl, but just having the opportunity, I did listen to this on Spotify. I'm looking at the tracks here.
Yeah. So I take those 2 songs, I put them to the side, right? And then there's a 9-song album. To me, I think you hit the nail on the head, and we hadn't spoke about this before we started recording. I think the album started off very strong. First off, when I listen to a new Ozzy album, just like when Kiss put out new albums, I've told you this before. I do not expect them to be Destroyer. I don't expect them to be Rock and Roll Over. I don't expect this to be Diary of a Madman.
Even when the band says that, like Paul Stanley said at the time.
Exactly.
Felt like just come on, stop.
Exactly. So I know that this is not going to be a Blizzard of Oz. I know this is not going to be a Diary of a Madman. Hell, I don't even expect it to be No More Tears, which I think is a good album also, right? For me, I think agreed. The last Ozzy album that I could say I liked even half of it was Osmosis. And I don't know if you remember that album or if you were into it, but you mentioned the song All My Life, and to me that was one of the standout tracks also, right? And it reminded me on Osmosis of songs like See You on the Other Side, Just Want You, Old LA Tonight, and songs of Ozzy's that I like. They're no Crazy Trains or I Don't Knows or Mr. Crowley's, but they're really good melodic rock songs. And to me, All My Life, I went back to that Osmosis album and I said, yeah, okay, I kind of dig this. The album started off with Straight to Hell, which I thought was a great riff, a great opener. Heavy song. It was probably one of my favorite heavy Ozzy songs. Maybe since the No More Tears album. I thought it was. I thought it started. I was like, wow, this is good. I'm gonna like this album. So the first 2 songs to me, right off the top, Straight to Hell and All My Life, I'm like, this is good. I'm digging this. This. Slash plays on Straight to Hell, at least the solo, if not the whole song. I thought he did a great job on that. I don't know if you've seen the video even that they put out for that song. I know it's not about the album per se, But the video is, Ozzy looks cool, even though he's sitting down the whole time, and you kind of know, the guy has no strength, and you feel bad for him. But it's a cool video. If you haven't seen the video, you should check it out. But the first two songs to me start off solid, and then, like you said, little by little, it starts to go down.
Diminishing returns.
Exactly, exactly. I happen to like the
returns.
song he did with Elton John. Maybe just the emotional side of the two of them. You know that they're on their supposed final tours, and Ozzy just canceled his tour. I like the song. It's not the greatest song in the world, but I thought it was solid. I had no problem.
It wasn't a bad. I don't want to insinuate that it was a bad tune. I got very high expectations anytime Elton John's. I'm a huge fan. More, obviously, if people don't come to know me, I'm an old school kind of guy. But his early stuff to mid '70s stuff is like untouchable. Debates all the time with people. Billy Joel versus Elton John is kind of a fun debate. But anyways, not to divert here. But yeah, I didn't think it was a if that's a 10, the Post Malone songs is like a 2. It's like, and I'm being generous there, in my opinion.
And I was gonna say, if that's a 10, the Post Malone songs are -40. So so that's how much I dislike it. Yeah. The first one, It's a Raid, remind me of Boomerang from Kiss, just how much it's like friggin' all over the place. But so those first I skipped over Goodbye, which is at the beginning of the album, and it started off moody, then it went heavy, then it turns back to moody. It felt a little disconnected to me, to be honest. It didn't grab me. But that second half of the CD, like you said, went downhill from there. Eat Me. Oh, God. No. Stop. Scary Little Green Men. I don't know why I hear the song and I think of Dirty Little Secret from, I think, like the All American Rejects. I think it is. They don't sound anything alike, but it's just the friggin' song just keep popping in my head. I'm like, stop. No. So... yeah, the second half. The only thing I'll say, the last song is a slow song. It's not the greatest song, but if you listen,
you mean before the Post Malones?
Yeah, exactly. It just
Holy for Tonight.
Yeah, it shows you just how much I think of those Post Malone songs. Like I said, Holy for Tonight is the last song to me on the album.
To you now, officially, it's not even on the album.
No, the other two songs are not even on. So Holy for Tonight is a slow song. I'm not going to say it's the best musically written song, but go back and listen to the lyrics to that song, and it's actually like pretty sad. We know Ozzy's health is a main issue right now. We don't know if he's ever going to record again. We don't know if he's ever going to perform again. I wrote down some of the lyrics here. What will I think of when I speak my final words? What will it feel like? And I wonder if it hurts. What will I think of when I take my final breath? To me, it's very like, Ozzy's sitting there laying in his bed probably thinking, my life's coming to an end. And it was an average song to me, but listening to the lyrics and knowing where Ozzy is in his life, it kind of, I'll say, got me a little bit in the heart. Like, this could be it. And again, to me, that's the last song on potentially Ozzy's last album. And it's kind of, I think 10, 15 years from now, if he's not with us, you'll listen to that song, you'll say, this is a man that kind of knew the end was approaching. And you'll kind of look at it maybe a little bit differently. Again, not the greatest song, but I thought it was decent. But the other songs before that, the second half of the album, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Well, look, I wanted to comment on a couple of things that you're saying, what you last said about that tune. The one thing that kind of bugs me, and maybe you have more insight about this, is that, when I looked at the liner notes, I saw every song Ozzy gets credit for. And I think that's just like Sharon's thing. Like, you play with Ozzy, Ozzy's getting song credit, no matter, if you had to wake him up out of a nap and just throw him in the studio and say, here are the lyrics, here's the song. I want to know, because we know back in the day, a lot of, was it Bob Daisley who wrote a lot of the lyrics? Like, did he write lyrics on this record? Like, do you know of anything about that? Because he got credit on every tune, and I'm just thinking, like, so you said, there's no way that he wrote on everyone. There's no way. I'm sorry. A guy who's in diminishing health. I just find it very hard to believe he never did it before.
Right. Why now?
Supposedly. But I heard what he was great at is he could look at lyric and just come up with these cool melodies. Like, that was his thing. And I give all the credit in the world for somebody, because you got to be able to do that. That's what Elton John did with Bernie Taupin, that whole Two Rooms thing, But do you know of any information that he actually did write?
Yeah, supposedly they were all in a room together, Chad Smith, Duff, Ozzy, and I think Andrew Watts, the guitar player. And all afternoon they would work on the music, they'd work on a melody, and Ozzy was there, from what I understand, with them on a daily basis. I'm going to guess that they were bouncing ideas off of each other in terms of lyrics. I don't think, and I don't know this, but I don't think Ozzy went home with a notepad and said, all right, now let me write first verse, second verse. Oh, wait, I need a chorus over here. But my gut feeling is, they bounce things off of each other, and perhaps, and I'm speculating on this, perhaps Ozzy was more involved in the lyrics on this album than maybe some of his other ones in the past.
Yeah, I mean, and they might have had someone like maybe Duff who was able to take his thoughts and ideas and kind of put them in a concise, lyrical manner, And, I do believe that, that's probably the case because, a songwriter, in my opinion, even if it's one suggestion that changes the course of a song, you get the credit, a songwriting credit. So even if he didn't write a lyric, but he said to Duff or Chad, like, all right, let's change that part where you do that musical part first, and then, well, you know what, he's directing the song. If that's what came out on the record, even if he didn't play an actual note, right, you're still providing that, that input to the songwriting
creative process. Right.
Yeah. Right. So,
Yeah, so
I wanted to say.
Go ahead. No, you. What were you going to say?
No, the other thing that annoys me, and this is just a little thing that has nothing really to do with the Ozzy record, but it does have to do with the Ozzy. When did featuring become feat? Why can't they put the word featuring? Featuring. It's a nice word.
It's a nice word, yeah.
Feet. It drives me nuts. I'm like, yeah, there it is again. I'm like, and you just spell out featuring. I know I'm just going over 10.
I'll contact the record labels about that on your behalf, okay?
Yes, please.
So we touched on it briefly at the top of this, the fact that Zakk Wylde's not on the record at all. And I've heard Ozzy say the reason Zakk's not on the album is because they didn't even know they were writing an album. They didn't even know that they were recording an album. They were just kind of passing time, having fun. And Zakk, to his credit, I know when the album came out, he congratulated Ozzy, wished him luck. Zakk's definitely taking the high road. But here's my thoughts on that. Maybe they really weren't knowing that they were writing an album. Maybe they didn't know that they were really recording an album. But he was able to pick up the phone and get Slash to come in and do a couple of songs. He was able to pick up the phone and get Elton John to come in and do a vocal and play piano. You can't pick up the phone when you realize it's an album and say, hey, Zakk, we've been doing this and we didn't intend it to be an album, but hey, we'd like you to throw solos on 2 of the songs. Just to have Zakk represented. I kind of, again, I think, Andrew Watt, to me, I love the guitar sound on the album, so it's not a criticism of that. And I love the guitar solo that Slash does on Ordinary Man. It kind of, if you listen to it, it reminds me of some of the work that Slash does on the Use Your Illusion albums. As soon as I'm listening to the song, before I looked at the credits, I'm like, oh, Slash is on this song. There's no doubt about it. It has his sound to it. And I think he's a great guitar player. But I just wish they would have picked up the phone and just had Zakk on a couple of songs, since this is probably the last Ozzy album. And I know that this would never in a gazillion years happen. I even wish they would have picked up the phone and had Jakey Lee come in and do a solo on one song. I know that's never going to happen, right? I know I'm just wishful thinking. But last album, that would have been awesome. But, it wouldn't have changed. Some of the crappy songs would have still been crappy. But, it would have just been a nice touch as somebody kind of ends his career. But, saying that, I thought the guitar playing was excellent. I thought the drumming was excellent. The whole musicianship on the album I thought was excellent. I would have liked to see especially Zakk there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, as a sign of good faith, to a guy who's played on many records with him, wrote, I don't think, but who knows? We don't know a lot of the ins and outs of the business side that go on behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Maybe there was something that Zakk wanted from it, and we know that Sharon is a shrewd businesswoman, and maybe they just couldn't work something out. I don't know. I'm totally speculating here.
Yep.
The other thing, there was something else I wanted to comment about the record. Oh, what really would have been nice. Obviously, like you say, when you hear Slash play, it's Slash. If Zakk was playing the record, his tone, his vibrato. They got their signature sound. When you hear note 1 that comes out of Ozzy's mouth, it's Ozzy. I just feel like I would just love to hear Ozzy's voice for one song without that Ozzy effect that they do on his voice. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about, obviously, he's going through some sort of auto tuning, and everyone's doing that. And there's no way, shape, or form with Ozzy's condition that this guy is able to sing, totally on. Everybody's using his tools. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Right. But they do like this certain doubling effect or whatever. I would just like to hear him do one song. Maybe it was the Elton John tune where it's just his pure voice. Fix it, the pitches. But without that doubling sound, whatever, that makes it that signature sound, right. I would have just loved one tune on the record to sound different vocally. Because as soon as there it is again. Right. Oh, there it is again. Right, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, just to give it just a different, tone, right. sound of production. Right. I would have liked to have heard that. That's just, it's a minor gripe, but if we're talking about the whole record, I have to throw that in there because I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. And look, and you write your own songs, you produce your own stuff, right? So I'm not surprised to hear you say that. That thought never once crossed my mind when I listened to the record at all.
But now, me saying that, do you see where I'm coming from with that?
Yeah, I'll have to go back and listen. I think you're a little out of your mind, but hey, but because I don't pick up on all those little intricacies like that. So for me, that didn't bother me, but again, with you liking to mix your own stuff, produce your own stuff, I'm not surprised to hear you say something like that. For me, I was more happy as I listened to the album, and like I said, Straight to Hell I thought was great, and he throws in the word defecate. So you got defecate in and out on a song.
Yeah, anytime they throw us defecate,
exactly.
I love when I call the credit card company, they say defecate. You know what I mean? Rare, but they do it. But yeah,
obviously I'm busting chops, but to me, I'm listening to a song, I'm like, all right, he threw in a word like that in a song. That's hilarious, I think. So I don't know why I found that funny, but I did. So all right, so for you, the standout track was All My Life. Besides that, were there any other tunes on the album that you say, hey, I think that's good, or would you say it's like a one-trick pony for you?
I like I said, after I'm looking at the first three songs, and then once we hit The Ordinary Man, which is the fourth song, again, I just felt like it just started to, right. Not that it was horrible or bad. I just felt like it's starting to lose its steam. Mm-hmm. And then by the time, like I say, it got to the two Roast Malone songs, I was done with the record.
I like how you call him Roast Malone.
And listen, I think the Friday night I actually covered one of his songs. It wasn't my choice, but in one of the projects. So and I had never even heard it. But it actually has a cool bass line. That I play bass on that. So I'll give it that. I don't know if he had anything to do with that part of it. Right.
Right. Well, I think for me, I like Straight to Hell, All My Life. I like Ordinary Man. And I even like, we didn't talk about it, Under the Graveyard, which was the first song he released from the album, actually. So I like those four songs. Holy for Tonight, I like the lyrics. So, musically it was okay, but I like the lyrics. So for me, overall, we always talk about, on a scale of like 0 to 10, how do we rate albums? For me, we always say 10's a perfect masterpiece, 5 is average, and 0 is, it would be better if this thing didn't exist at all. I think some people out there feel like this album might be a 0. If I'm looking at 5 as an average, I would say this album's, for me, like a 5 or a 5.5 bowls of Bad Head Soup out of 10. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it's about average, maybe slightly above. It's not a bad record at all. And, the one thing I'll say, I'm not going to discourage anybody from listening. You should listen to this record, and especially, as you said, who knows? This may be Ozzy's last release. Take it in. Everybody has their different way of listening to things. Certainly through the years, we've, we always bring up Kiss, being big Kiss fans. There's certain songs that we were like absolutely hated, and it was favorites for some other people, and it's just like it makes everybody different, and it makes everybody's opinions matter. That's what it's all about. Everybody's opinions matter. It's not right and wrong. It's just opinion.
Agreed.
So go out, listen to the record, and you know what? What was funny was after Spotify played the record, all of a sudden I hear something like, wow, I think like Flying High Again went on. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about, And like Spotify has this thing like where they'll just start playing, and I was like, well, go back, listen to the old stuff, man.
Absolutely.
Just soak it all in, Ozzy's catalog is a great catalog. Listen to Sabbath stuff. Just, spend a day listening to Ozzy,
Absolutely.
These people are on this planet right now. Take advantage of the time now if you can see them. I know he's not touring now. But, One of the good things people should do, if you're a music lover, you have 365 days in a year. Take one day to take your favorite artist and listen to their records or listen to their, if you still listen to cassettes, whatever. It's a kind of a fun thing to do. You know what I mean? Just take, and go like, you're an Iron Maiden fan, go back and listen to your top 5 favorite Iron Maiden records in one day. Take each day to listen to an artist and really kind of appreciate, this great writing that was out there. I recently did a thing, and I know I'm going a little tangent, but I'll make it very quick. Somebody posted on, and I put it on my Facebook feed. Somebody posted they were playing Jump, the entire keyboard part. They had the right sound. Yeah, and I just went back and listened to it. I'm like, this is just an incredible piece of music. And Eddie's, I know he originally played piano, but he's known for his guitar playing, but listen to what he composed on the keyboard. And I was just thinking, like, there is nothing like this that exists anymore. You know what I mean? Go back, listen to those old records. We recently saw David Lee Roth, and when he's doing some of that classic Van Halen, I remember saying to you, it's like, man, this was great stuff. Go back, listen to those records, to soak it in. It exists, not going away. So
no, you're right. You're right. So maybe today I'll slap on a few Ozzy albums, Blizzard, Diary. I'll probably still listen to this one a little bit because, I just love the fact that at his age and in his health, he did something. So I'll probably listen to it, but it definitely won't be in heavy rotation. But a few of the songs may make like my mixtape, so to speak, So anything else on the album?
No, but this is so what you said. You remember what my barometer was, and I think this goes back to when, again, enough with the Kiss. When Paul Stanley put out the Live to Win record, and I said to you, do you think in 10 years from now you're going to be still listening to this record? And I don't remember what your answer was, but I knew in my heart the answer was going to be I wasn't. Right. And every once in a while, if I just see it, I was let me see what. But that's the ultimate test. Like, do you think in 10 years from now you'll still put this record on? We know we'll put Blizzard on. We'll put Diary. 100%. We'll know, there's, So
it's funny that you say that.
I hate to put it that way.
No, it's funny that you say that because I actually thought of Live to Win while I listened to this album for that very reason of what you just said. Because I remember us debating that, whatever it was, 10, 15 years ago when that album came out. And I'll say the album Live to Win, I still listen to the song Live to Win. I still listen to Lift, right? I think those are still 2 good songs. But the rest of the album, I don't put on the album from beginning to end. Yeah. And I think it'll be the same thing with this Ozzy album. I think I'll listen to Straight to Hell. I'll listen to All My Life and maybe Ordinary Man. But the rest of the album, I'll never sit down and be like, I really want to listen to this album from beginning to end, and especially play those last couple of songs from Post Malone multiple times. Yeah. That's never going to happen, right? Well, I'll put down, I'll sometimes get in the mood and say, I want to listen to Blizzard, and I'll put it on beginning to end, right? So this definitely won't be that, but there's enough songs on here that I think I'll listen to once a year. Type of thing. So at least my opinion. Ask me again a year from now.
I am. What's his date?
What is it? February 22nd? The 23rd? So,
23rd.
Yeah, 23rd.
We'll have part 2 of this discussion on 2021. A quick trivia, like a little, not trivia, but just a note. I just thought of this. The song Ordinary Man with Elton John. Elton John actually released an album in the 70s called Ordinary Man. I don't know if that's coincidence, but I just thought about that. I was like, that's some sort of coincidence there. But
that is, yeah. And I think Elton John actually gets a writing credit on the song. So I wonder who came up with that. I wonder if Elton John was like, hey, there's this phrase from my album. Let's write a song around it. I don't know enough about how the song originated. I thought it was Ozzy's, and then he called Elton, but we'll have to dig into that one a little more. Maybe somebody out there knows, and they can comment. Very groovy.
In the comments, yes.
In the comments, yes. Anything else on the album, buddy?
I think I said enough.
Alrighty, so I think you said it perfectly before. Listen to the album. This could be his last one. Everybody's got different opinions. We both think it's average. I've seen some people online think it's like the greatest thing he's done in 25 years. Other people said, never listen to it again. You give a listen. Let us know what your thoughts are. Do you agree with us? Do you agree with some of the others? And like you say, leave some comments over there. And thanks everybody for watching.
I gotta go higher.
Yes, that's right. Thanks everybody for watching. And Bud, it was good talking to you. And let's go listen to Blizzard of Oz now.
All right.
All right. Thanks everybody. Later.
Alrighty. There you have it.
our review of the new Ozzy Osbourne album, Ordinary Man. Let us know what you think and leave us comments in the section below. Also, please go hit my subscribe button on the YouTube channel, and also head over to Facebook and go follow and like my page, The Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. Until next time, thanks for watching.